welcome to Deb's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be preparing for you Mississippi pot roast. However, I'm sure it's trending right now everywhere. Everybody's making it different ways, but I'm going to make it in my Instant Pot today, and I'm going to tweak it up a little. Some people cook this in a Dutch oven skillet like this, and you put it in the oven for about 3 to 4 hours to achieve tenderness, or you could put it in your crock pot, all the ingredients, and leave it there for 6 hours, and you'll get it nice and tender. Or tonight, we are going to do it 40 minutes in the Instant Pot, because sometimes busy moms don't have time to spend all day over the stove. First of all, your traditional Mississippi pot roast that's trending all over right now is made with these simple ingredients. A package of ranch dip, a package of au juice or brown gravy, a stick of butter, some peppercini, and a chuck roast. But in my kitchen tonight, I'm tweaking it because sometimes I don't like the same old same old. So I'm adding onions sliced already, and I'm adding fresh mushrooms, 18 ounces, because when I'm finished with my roast, I want to be able to slice it up and serve it with mashed potatoes and mushroom gravy. The first thing we're going to do is season our meat, because we're going to caramelize it in our Instant Pot. And usually when you cook it in the crock pot, you skip this step. When you do it in your Dutch oven, you caramelize it. So we are going to put ample pepper, and I'm putting some kosher salt, because that's a great salt when you're caramelizing or cooking meat. So your Instant Pot is here. I've already set it onto the saute mode, and I'm letting it get hot. It says hot when it's hot, and it already said hot. It's on, so it's ready to go. I put some oil, and I'm using canola oil. You can use canola or any other kind of high smoke point oil. I put about 1/4 cup of oil, just enough to barely coat the bottom of my pan. And I'm already seeing that this is a 4-pound roast, and it might be a little too big for my 6-quart, 8-quart Instant Pot, so I'm just going to cut it. No problem. Then it's already seasoned. I'm going to put it into my Instant Pot to brown about 3 minutes on each side. Can you hear that sizzle? We're going to check our meat, and be very careful because you have hot oil here, folks. See that browning? That browning is what you want on your meat, because it gives it an extra layer of flavor. We cooked it 3 minutes, and we're going to do 3 more minutes on the other side because we want it to be nice and caramelized. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to sear the meat to seal in all those juices and keep your meat tender. Then 3 minutes, so I kind of turn it over, and I make sure I sear the every side, because I want to seal in all those juices. So you have to be very careful when you do this. Okay, I'm taking my meat out. See how nicely seared it is? That's what we're looking for. And over here, kind of look in this crock pot, this Instant Pot. See all these bits, brown bits? So that's what's going to make us delicious gravy, folks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to caramelize these onions. Just throw them all in there, because I want to give that good base flavor profile. I have also 8 ounces of mushrooms that I told you I was going to tweak it with. People say not to wash them, to rub them off, but that's if you're going to leave them sitting around. I'm going to give these a quick rinse and then put them in. So if you can see these onions here, they're getting nice and caramelized. That's what you want. I'm going to throw in my mushrooms and just saute those a little. I want to get all those brown bits off the bottom. Okay, so just stir these until they look pretty, like they're starting to soften. That's been about 3 minutes. And now I'm going to take everything out. Yes, you heard me right. Because I don't want them to be sitting on the bottom of the pot for this next step. Because we're going to add in our Instant Pot wrap. The reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to steam my meat and juice. I want to have that unctuous roasted taste. Okay, I'm going to put in my Instant Pot wrap because I don't want the meat to be directly on the bottom of the juice. Usually when you make the Mississippi pot roast, it doesn't have any liquid at all. But I'm using liquid because I want to make gravy with the same liquid. So I'm going to put in my liquid, which is 2 cups, because I want enough for gravy. Okay, my beef stock is in, and 2 cups of it. And I am going to just put a little splash of this Worcestershire, I can never pronounce it, Worcestershire sauce. Just a splash, because I love the taste it gives beef. There. That was probably about 4 splashes. Now, next step, we're going to put in our meat. And here it is, the delicious beef that we just sauteed, and it's caramelized. All that brown goodness is there. And then we're going to put our Mississippi pot roast ingredient. A whole packet, which is 1 ounce of ranch dressing. Just sprinkle it all over real nicely. Make sure you got it on all the meat. How easy is that? Then we have the, usually they use au jus. They have an au jus packet, but I'm using the brown gravy, and all this is just has a little flour in it because I want to create a gravy. I cut up the stick of butter in cubes so I could have more even coverage on our Mississippi pot roast. And then the next thing to add is the peppercini. This is up to your own discretion. How much of a pepper person are you? Some people put in the whole jar and some of the juice. I'm looking at it already. I'm thinking I need more. So like I said, it depends what you like. And I'm going to put a little juice. Then I'm going to add all my mushrooms and onions on top of this. Look at that. Wow. Deliciousness. And then I'm going to throw in a few more rings. Just because I want to. Will you look at that, people? We're going to put our lid on, lining up the arrows as per the Instant Pot instructions. We're going to seal it. We're going to push this knob here up to sealing. When it's down here, that means you're letting the steam out, you're venting. It's marked, it says sealing. When it starts to get hot, the red button will go up and your pressure will be on. I'm going to set my pressure cooker to, I had turned it off, I canceled it. Cancel the saute mode. Now I'm putting it instant. I don't want 20 minutes, I want 40 minutes. Actually, we are going to check this after it slow releases because this is a bigger piece of meat than I traditionally cook. I'm going to put it 40 minutes because I don't want to chance that I might overcook it. And then I'm going to check it after it releases itself. Once it's cooked, see how it says on? It's going to start counting down from 40 minutes. So it'll say 40 and then it'll start counting down 39, 28, all the way to 0. And once it gets to 0, it will start releasing slowly. And when this red button, which is going to come up as it builds pressure, drops back into position, that's when it's safe to open your Instant Pot. And while you're waiting, don't forget, go and to like this video, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can see when I'm cooking in here. Tell all your friends. Let's get more people in Deb's kitchen so we can create more magic. Okay, here we are. I cooked it 40 minutes and then I let it slow release about 13 minutes. And here we are. We're going to check our meat. Okay, we're going to transfer it over. I'm taking the meat out. It looks like it might need a little more cooking, which is an easy fix. And I forgot to tell you that this roast was semi-frozen, so that might be, your meat needs to be totally defrosted, but it's tender. So we're going to cut this, and usually you want to cut against the grain. If the meat grain goes this way and you can see the lines, you're not going to cut the same way. You're going to cut across. So here's the grain right here. It's going down that way. We're going to cut across the grain. And it slices easy. And we're just going to make slices. We don't want it to be totally falling apart. It's easily cut. And then we're going to go ahead and cut all the rest of it up, and then we'll come back and make gravy. Okay, some of it in the very center is red, but if you would notice, it's kind of like when you eat in a steakhouse. All I'm going to do is throw it in the hot liquid, and that will cook it right up. We're probably going to cook it about 5 more minutes in the Instant Pot, and it'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to take the rack out, and we're left with all these juices, and we're going to turn off our Instant Pot. We're going to turn it back on to saute, and then we're going to start making our gravy. Okay, I'm going to take off some of the oil. If you'll look here in the Instant Pot, you can see a layer of oil. We don't want all that oil. So I'm going to get my spoon and take off most of it. Some of it we can use for our gravy, because they usually require you to use the drippings. What we're doing is skimming off the oil. Look in the spoon, you can see it's mostly clear. Doesn't matter if you get some of the brown, you don't need all that juice, but make sure you're just getting the clear oil and until it's almost gone. Some people thicken their gravy with a flour roux, and I'm thickening mine with cornstarch. So basically I have 3/4 cup of cold water that I poured in here, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And you want to basically stir this until it's totally liquid. It looks like milk. And no clumps. And then we're going to go to our gravy, which I have turned off and put back on saute so you can see it's boiling. We just want to thicken it up a little. So we're going to do this gradually. I'm going to put in half, and I'm going to let it boil a few minutes and see how it's looking. Because it has to, in order for cornstarch to thicken your gravy, it has to be boiling. So we're going to watch it for about, I'd say about 5 minutes. Because I'm an experienced cook, I can already tell it's not going to thicken up soon enough. So I'm going to put the whole thing in. So that's 3/4 cup of cold water mixed with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. See, I can already see it's thickening up nicely. The rare pieces I'm going to add back right in here, and they'll cook in a minute or so. You can look in here and see that the gravy is already nice and thick, and we want this to be covered in gravy. Sometimes I make this for Christmas as well. It's always one of the dishes we make because there's always someone in the family. We usually have like 50-some people over, and a lot of people don't like turkey, people don't like ham, and usually on Thanksgiving I will make the turkey and a roast, and my son says make ham, and I tell him no, I want the ham to be the start of Christmas. And sometimes when you have things like too much, get that gravy on there, it kind of gets old. So let's cancel this, because we need to take our meat out of here. And I'm going to arrange it in here real nice. Then we're going to pour gravy over it. And it will be ready to serve up with these mashed potatoes that I whipped up while we were waiting. We'll be right back. Okay, so I need to strain the veggies out of my gravy because I don't want it to be clumped with everything in it. So I have this. If you have any kind of colander like this or a screen mesh sieve, put it over a dish like this or a pan and strain out your vegetables from your gravy. So that's what we're going to do now. The gravy's ready. So there we have everything out, and I'm going to pick this up. This is a nifty little thing. I just love this picture. And here we see all the veggies, the pepperoncinis, the mushrooms, and our gravy separate. So I'm just going to take these, decorate my meat real nice. Doesn't that look lovely? The meat's perfectly cooked. We did try it out, and the pink is gone because we steamed it real quick in here. We're going to put this in a gravy boat. Well, actually, I'm going to put a little over my meat for presentation, and the rest I'm going to put in a gravy boat for people to serve with their mashed potatoes. Here we go. Make sure it all has this lovely gravy that gives it deliciousness. And serving this at your party, any special event, or even a dinner, special dinner, with your mashed potatoes, gravy, and some type of vegetable is all you need. Okay, so here you have it, people. Deb's Tweaked Instant Pot Mississippi Pot Roast. And don't forget, leave us comments. I love reading your comments and answering your little questions. So let's give this a try. Let me get a mushroom. And I add mushrooms. My husband loves mushrooms. Okay, that was simply delicious. And like I told you, if you want it more tender, depending on how shredded you want it, you can add more time to your Instant Pot, or you can simply put this in the oven at 350 for probably a half hour, and then take a piece out and check it, because different people, just like a steak, some people like it rare, some like it medium rare, wow, and some like it fall off the bone like me. So usually when I make this, I will cook it an hour if I'm trying to make shredded beef. And I like to make that for sandwiches. So go ahead, enjoy this recipe, give me some comments, and Lord bless you. Have a nice holiday. Cook this up for your holiday dinner as a potluck dish, and everybody will be really impressed with you.